Woman Wednesday edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. We're coming today live as we do every single day, noon to 2 Eastern, from our little Liquid Lunch Outpost studios right here in downtown New York City. Woman Wednesday, as you know, is my favorite day because we highlight as many women as possible. That doesn't mean women aren't on the show every single day, but on Wednesday, we try to give you the woman's perspective as much as possible. Women in business, women in politics, women in philanthropy, women in the arts, and they're all going to be here today. You're not going to believe it. Before kicking off this Woman Wednesday show, let's go right down the street to the New York Stock Exchange, where the last few days, the market has been under severe attack. There's some breaking news this morning, the first cases of the coronavirus in South America, Latin America. We'll get to that in a little while. But the market seems to be shrugging that off this morning, thankfully. Dow up about 300. It was up as much as 450 this morning. Maybe these new reports of the corona fears are having traders back off. But as I've been saying for the last week, if you put your portfolio together properly, you have a diversified blend of assets, you've invested for the long term, your retirement and your future, these 1 or 2 day big spikes, drops, up, down, namaste. Stay calm. Let it work itself out. We had Simon Constable on yesterday. He's the author of Amazon #1 in category book, 50 economic indicators from zombie banks to Big Macs. And he was saying that historically, most of these fear, fright, and hysteria things seem to peter out after 3 or 4 months. So stay calm right now. We'll keep you posted on all that. We'll be updating you all day on what's happening in the markets. Bitcoin is also under severe attack now. It seemed like there was a flight to safety in Bitcoin. We talked to our friend Derek Scott from metals.com a little earlier this week. Many people were moving to gold. Gold's seen a 2 to 3% up spike lately, but I thought Bitcoin might be right there. There has been this reverse correlation lately where when the market is up, Bitcoin seems to be down, and when the market's down, Bitcoin seems to be up. Not today. Bitcoin at 8,500, down almost 1,000 points in the last week. So some serious concerns there. You know, I've been telling you for the last couple of months, the last time I put some new Bitcoin in my portfolio was around 8,000. That's where I thought there was an opportunity. Right here, under 9 is a dangerous place. There could be a trapdoor down to as far as 6,500. So keep your eyes peeled on that. And as always, keep some cash available in your portfolio. If there's a big drop, there's a big discount in the marketplace, you have some cash on hand to go out and do some discount buying. Now, last night, there were all kinds of crazy things going on in the Democratic debate. We're going to break it down with all kinds of great guests throughout the show today. But a couple of things really stuck out to me. Number one, I had said yesterday that I was going to be keeping a close eye on Elizabeth Warren. And if Elizabeth Warren was laying off Bernie and still attacking Bloomberg, then my thought was she was already making a play to be Bernie's vice president. And it turned out, the way I looked at it last night, that she saved most of her attacks for Mike Bloomberg, who seems to be the #1 threat to them. And she started laying into Mike Bloomberg early and often.
Sorry, but unfortunately she's misinformed on red lighting. You can go back and look at the record. I fought against it before 08, the crisis, during 08, and after that. Redlining is not the problem with the mortgage market, but it was a problem for the communities where it was done, and we stopped that. Let me also say, because since I have the floor for a second, that I really am surprised that all of these, my fellow contestants up here, I guess would be the right word for it, given nobody pays attention to the clock. I'm surprised they show up, because I would have thought after I did such a good job in beating them last week that they'd be a little bit afraid to do that. But let me just say, when you talk...
Mike Bloomberg, not the funniest guy in the debate last night. It was weird. He called them contestants, because I don't know if they're supposed to be called contestants, but to me, Mike Bloomberg still continues to look like he's unprepared. It looks like whoever's doing his debate prep with him is not hitting him with the right questions, because he's doing a lot of stuttering, a lot of stumbling, mumbling, bumbling. He actually threw in a couple of really weak jokes last night, if you ask me. We'll look at them a little more. But Bloomberg had his sights set on one person, and that was right now the leader, Bernie Sanders, who is coming under attack from most of them. But here's what Mike Bloomberg had to say about Bernie.
Mayor Bloomberg,
Senator,
I'll let you respond to that. Do you think Senator Sanders' economy would be better for America than President Trump?
I think that Donald Trump thinks it would be better if he's president. I do not think so. Vladimir Putin thinks that Donald Trump should be president of the United States, and that's why Russia is helping you get elected, so you'll lose to him.
So, you know, I'll tell you, these Russians, they really got a lot going on over there. Apparently, they're behind now and supporting the top two candidates. They're for Trump and they're for Bernie, whatever that means. I don't know. One little odd thing that I may not have pointed out last week, in 2016, when our intelligence agencies thought there was an issue that the Russians were helping Donald Trump, instead of going to Donald Trump and his team and briefing them, what they did was they opened an investigation into him and didn't tell him. And it is kind of convenient now in 2020 that they think the Russians are helping Bernie, and rather than open an investigation into Bernie, they go to his team and brief them. So seems like there's a couple of sets of standards, but this Vladimir Putin guy, he must be some real political animal because he's supporting the two top leading contenders, as it seems. So on Woman Wednesday, we try to bring you the best of the best women and all different perspectives on that. And today, I'm so lucky to be joined with a guest host for the whole 2 hours today. Consuelo Vanderbilt Costin joins me today. She is a top 20 Billboard recording artist. She is an entrepreneur. She's the founder of the Soho Muse. And she's also quite the philanthropist, might I add. Well, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we got to cover the gamut of all things today. You know, you're an artist, you're an entrepreneur, you're into the arts, you're traveling around the whole world. Your different philanthropic endeavors have brought you lately out to L.A. to Hollywood for the Oscars, and you had the big Oscars party. And then I wanted you to come in, and you couldn't make it because you were in London for Fashion Week. And now finally we got you back here. Before getting into it, I want to show you. Ooh, there's a nice photo. She's also a recording artist, and let's take a look at a recent video of hers.
Crazy, falling apart at your fingertips. Maybe breaking my heart is as close to love as we'll get. Kiss me, can't get enough of that poison on your lips, sinking under your skin, and I'm gone. When the sky's falling and the walls crash down, let me be the one to wrap your arms around, baby.
So that's just one of your many amazing contributions to the arts. Now, you at home, you may be wondering, you know, John's from Staten Island, Frankie's from Staten Island, most of my team is from Staten Island, New York. How did I get Consuelo Vanderbilt Costin on me? She's actually, if you trace it all the way back, she's kind of a Staten Islander, too.
Yeah,
some of the roots of the family go all the way
right
back.
there.
So we're keeping it in the family here.
By the way, the video was shot at the Vanderbilt Museum, which is in Suffolk County, and
wow,
really keeping it in the family.
You are quite amazing. We're going to cover the gamut of things with you today. But I would like to get a woman's perspective. I know we talked about it yesterday about watching the debate, and you know, way more right than you are. You're pretty moderate, and you know, but you're objective and you're open-minded. And you know, what were your thoughts on the macros? I know you watched the debates last night. What did you think you saw there?
Listen, I think that there was just so much going on and just so many different opinions and very volatile. I think that Elizabeth Warren really was very strong in the sense her opinions and her ideas are incredibly clear, right? I feel that also, I think Bloomberg did a brilliant job last night.
You did?
I do. I think he did.
You think he had a little comeback from the last time? Last time he looked really unprepared.
Right.
Last night it seemed like he did have some canned lines ready and some attacks, which was, you know, the bar was set very low from his first night out.
Right.
But you think your thought was, and you don't have any reason to like Bloomberg or anyone else, just objectively, you thought that
I think
Bloomberg,
he did much better than the previous. And, but also, just question for you: what did you think about when Warren attacked him about the job situation and?
Well, I think that she wants to be, my personal opinion is I think she wants to be Bernie's vice president.
Okay.
And I think they see the biggest threat to that is the money of Mike Bloomberg. So I think, she's taken to, earning some stripes with Bernie and basically saying, hey, I'm going to attack Bloomberg for us. And I don't know if there's a deal made there already, but it seemed like it to me. But I would, just overall, you thought he did a good job last night. I want you to take a look at one of the attacks that Elizabeth Warren launched against Bloomberg, and I would like to get the woman's perspective on this. Let's take a look at this.
Personal for me. When I was 21 years old, I got my first job as a special education teacher. I loved that job. And by the end of the first year, I was visibly pregnant. The principal wished me luck and gave my job to someone else. Pregnancy discrimination, you bet. But I was 21 years old, I didn't have a union to protect me, and I didn't have any federal law on my side. So I packed up my stuff and I went home. At least I didn't have a boss who said to me, kill it, the way that Mayor Bloomberg
never
alleged
said
to
that.
have said to one of his pregnant employees. People want a chance to hear. People want a chance to hear. From the women who
I never said that.
I want to allow the mayor
for the record, if she was a teacher in New York City, she would never have had that problem. We treated our teachers the right way, and the unions will tell you exactly that.
So, from the woman's point of view, this is from a deposition, one of his employees. There's corroborating evidence that he said this, or at least there's one employee who's corroborated the story. As a woman, do you think he has a woman problem because of this stuff?
I mean, firstly, I feel terrible that Elizabeth actually went through this at 21 years old. That's so young, right, to really be facing that. I am hoping and praying that Bloomberg never said that, and that actually never occurred. Let's be honest. We also know that the press can tend to
stretch things.
They're perfectly said.
Yep.
See, I can be the diplomat, and I can be, right? We can work together in this. I like that. Okay. I'm going to really hope that would never happen and never occurred. How about that?
Supposedly, he came out and tried to say it, kind of emphatically. I never said it. I never said it. I never said it. But he kind of sounded like one of my kids almost saying, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Yep. And then really we know they did it. So I guess we'll get all the reporting. And he's saying he's going to release the women from the NDAs.
Yep.
So maybe these women will come forward at some point and say he did or he didn't. If it is corroborated, do you think that kills his chances with women?
I think that it will be incredibly challenging.
Tough to overcome.
Now, we also know that Trump has managed to...
Without a doubt, he's overcome some terrible things.
So I also believe that we're in a new temperature right now for this. Okay. But I'm also hoping that, listen, women are very strong right now. And I think that we have more of a voice than we ever have.
All right. Well, you're going to hear that voice for most of the 2 hours today, along with a bunch of amazing women. And even though it's Women Wednesday, we do what we do every single day. We mix it up, Democrat, Republican, and we got to bring in some guys sometimes, too, because these guys really mix it up the best. My boys are here. David Eisenbach and Johnny Burnett are going to mix it up. Consuelo's going to take a quick break. Frankie's covering all the breaking news out there. Whole team will be back at you right after this. Quick break, more Liquid Lunch in 2 minutes.